here. Live chat. That's what I want. YouTube always moving stuff. That's what happens when I don't do Kaiju Chill O'Clock regularly. But what's up, you guys? I believe we are live. Hopefully we get some people to chime on in here. But Godzilla Fan Freaks coming at you today with Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a Happy New Year. First Kaiju Chill O'Clock of the new year, 2026. Here we go. Of course, I put out the first review of 2026. More Kamen Rider stuff. But how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing okay. Hopefully we get some action going on here in chat and stuff like that with people chiming in. Again, I don't announce whenever I'm doing this anymore. It's just kind of like if it happens, it happens. Just because, again, posts on Facebook and Instagram were just being redundant with the reminders, and that's all my feed on those outlets for Godzilla Fan Freaks we're just reminders of the Kaiju Chill O'Clock. So again, you got to hit that notification bell. That way you get notified when I put up videos, when I go live, stuff like that. And again, just atomic blast that like button. Helps out the channel a lot. I see we got one person on in here. Thank you for being here for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68. Because it is Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68, and I'm kind of been going with a theme. What else do we have on in the background other than the movie that's better than Final Wars, Destroy All Monsters? Because 1968, Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68, we got Destroy All Monsters going on. Actually, this is my first Godzilla movie of the new year. So what a way to kick it off. And something that I'll probably do a little later on in the show, because I don't know how long today's show is going to be. It could go on for an hour. It could go on for 2 hours. It really depends on engagement. But at some point in the stream, when we get more people on in here and the movie starts maybe getting closer to the end and stuff like that, we'll just see how long it goes. And I'll probably end up asking, hey, the first two people to comment another Godzilla movie or whatever, and then I'll pick one of the two, and that'll be the next one I throw on and stuff like that and have on in the background. But got some topics to talk about. I actually have like a little list. So we got some things to talk about. Again, we got one person on in here. I don't know who it is. I can't see that on my end, but again, thank you for being here. Confirmation, audio, video, all that stuff's good. Hopefully we get some more people on through here. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the Kamen Rider Black from Tamashii Nation's SH Figure Arts. A lot of cool Kamen Rider figure reviews coming in soon. And it's one of those things that I even talked about with my buddy Matt, who recently went to Japan, Matt Burkett from Monstrosities channel of Tokusatsu. He just came down last weekend with his buddy Max, and we all kind of hung out and stuff. And it was one of those topics that we kind of talked about. Good morning, Kim. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to you. But it was one of those things that we just ended up talking about. And what ended up kind of going on was the market for Godzilla and Kaiju stuff. In all honesty, it doesn't really feel special anymore, if that makes sense. And it's oversaturated with so much. I mean, it's good. It's a good thing, and then it's also a bad thing. Taking it from my perspective, you guys have been saying, have I been putting out a lot of Godzilla and Kaiju stuff? No, it's been a lot of Kamen Rider stuff. And that's because there really hasn't been a lot going on in the Godzilla and Kaiju scene. Like, there's been stuff that's been coming out, but it's nothing that's like been itching. Ooh, I kind of want to get that and give my 2 cents on it in like a figure review or something like that. And again, it's oversaturated with so much. Like, everywhere you look, it's kind of like all the same thing. Nothing's like, whoa, what? Like, if there was anything like that recently, it was probably the announcement of Godzilla Jr. from X Plus. Finally doing a 25 centimeter Godzilla Jr. After all these years, they are finally doing something fresh, new, not a reissue, not a repaint, resculpt, whatever. So I'm actually kind of excited for Godzilla Jr. I'm not sure if I'm going to put in an order for it, just because it's up on the X Plus North America website. And the pre-orders are open until, I think, January 18th or 19th. So there's time for me to put a pre-order in. I'm just not sure if I'm going to, just because it's not crazy expensive. It's actually really decent for what it is. But there's just other things that I'd rather be collecting right now, if that makes sense. And it sucks to say that as a Godzilla Kaiju collector. There's just there's nothing like crazy new. Again, talking about Godzilla.com, you can get Bandai's through there and some of these other stuff and everything like that, but in reality, it's like it's so heavily saturated with everything. I mean, you got Godzilla Clue, Godzilla Monopoly. They're doing like hand towels, beach towels, card games, game mats, card sleeves for your cards. I mean, you got all the little reaction stuff from like Super 7 and the SH Monster. But that's what I mean. Like, nothing feels special anymore in the Godzilla market. And it's like it's not like I've been waiting for it, but I'm surprised that like no one's commented, and it's kind of a good thing, because then that means that it's either if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But it's one of those things. I've had comments in the past about when I go off on like different topics with the YouTube channel, and something that I've been kind of waiting for but hasn't happened is like, oh, how come you're doing all this Kamen Rider stuff? What's with all the Kamen Rider stuff? And, are you no longer a Godzilla channel, Kaiju channel, stuff like that? And it's like, no, I still am. It's just none of that stuff that's coming out is really interesting. Like, guys, what do I have on pre-order that's Godzilla related? I have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Giant Condor. And then I actually did pick up some of the Godzilla versus Space Godzilla card sleeves that I'm going to use for card sleeves for actually other card games. But it's like, that's it. Like, there's nothing else that's like, And the other issue is that everything, of course, is, pre-order. Nothing is really ever dropped or anything anymore. And if something does come in stock that's kind of like cool and interesting, it's not in stock for very long. So again, you're just kind of chasing that battle of if you can even put in an order for something or not. Because I actually was going to get a couple other Bandai Movie Monster series. They ended up selling the Kamacuras that came in like that box set separately. There was actually a really cool 1974 flying mode Mechagodzilla that I'd like to pick up, but around the time that I went to go put in like these recent orders that I did, they were already sold out. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess that saves me money in the end. But I don't know. It's just the Godzilla market's really weird for me and myself right now. And I know others can probably agree that it's just kind of slow. We're waiting for a bunch of new stuff. We got still another year until Godzilla X Kong Supernova, which Space Godzilla, yay. I'm excited to see Space Godzilla in the Monsterverse. But again, I'm not like a big goon over the Monsterverse films. They're okay for what they are. They're fun. I have fun with them, but like, it's just, I don't know. And then you got Godzilla Minus Zero, which was that supposed to come out this year or is it next year? I don't know. Either way, we have basically kind of a year until we do see anything. A year, a little over a year and a half. So, it's like there's no new movies or anything right now. We're kind of just playing the waiting game. All the merchandise that's coming out, again, it's just oversaturated. It's the same old things. Kim, sometimes you have to diversify so that you have something else to focus on until they can get that new content out. That's why I'm part of different communities and fandoms. It makes sense. We all have our different, how do I word it? You don't just have to be a fan of one thing, and that's why it's nice. It's like another thing that we talked about, and this kind of relates to the topic, is you guys know me. I grew up with all the old school Godzilla movies, from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. That was a majority of what I watched, and then there was a little bit of the Heisei era, which was like the 90s and stuff in there. But that was the majority of what I watched. I grew up watching the tokusatsu, men in suit, destroy the city, explosions going off, stuff like that. And so many of the fans now, they like all the new stuff, which is fine. You like what you like. But again, you're no tokusatsu. I think it's finally of like maybe the Godzilla shorts that Toho does every year, which I don't know how much longer that's going to keep up with tokusatsu, because the last one they did last year with the Burning Godzilla 2000, yes, that was tokusatsu and stuff like that, but then it was later on learned that they used AI in some shots. They used some computer enhancement stuff in certain shots. So it's just like, that takes away from it. And everything now is CGI. It's digital created. It's not there. And I think that has to do a big part of it too. It's like, I'm a fan of the old school stuff that was actually there live on the screen. It's actually falling apart. It's actually exploding. And that was the fun part of it for me. But now it's like, I still love Godzilla -1, and I'm pretty sure Godzilla -0 is going to be another amazing film. And it doesn't mean I don't like those films because they used CGI and stuff like that. But it's a different feeling. You know what I mean? And I feel like the market for me, like, is this the end of collecting Godzilla for me? No, there's sure going to be always new stuff that eventually comes out. But it's like right now, it's just kind of slow. So it's like I've been focusing on a lot of Kamen Rider media, and I've been really enjoying it. And again, the Kamen Rider stuff, it's that tokusatsu. It's the guy in a suit. Granted, he's doing, the poses and stuff like that, and it's not kaiju stuff. It's still cool, and it still speaks to kind of what I'm into. And so that's why Kamen Rider has been a big fun ride. And I have some new figures to showcase you guys. If you guys follow Godzilla Fan Freaks on Facebook and Instagram, you guys have seen pictures of things that I've gotten. I got figure reviews lined up here. Again, just did Kamen Rider Black. I got 3 more coming after that. Hopefully I can keep Kaiju Chill O'Clock going. But we'll see. I might be able to do it next week. Just depends if Nick, if you're watching, I need some more Kaiju Chill O'Clock thumbnails, which shout out to my buddy Nick Adams at the Monster Report. He's been helping me out still with the thumbnails and everything like that. He just does such a good job creating thumbnails and stuff for YouTube and everything that, I always tell him if I have something in mind or an idea, and I just kind of let him go with it. And Nick, just thank you again for all your help with my thumbnails. You are the man. But again, it's back to kind of like that topic, though. It's nice to have that different things that you can dive into. Godzilla, Kamen Rider, Gamera, Ultraman, Dragon Ball Z, is another thing I'm a big fan of. So it's like it's always nice to be fans of these other things, and of course you have the main stuff that you collect. It's like right now I'm not really collecting anything Dragon Ball Z. I'm not. So it's like it's easier for me to focus on the Kamen Rider stuff, and it's like as much as I love that X Plus Godzilla Jr., if I buy that, that's going to be the only thing I buy for a while. And again, that's going to be a pre-order, which this thing doesn't drop until June or July this year. So again, it's just waiting. And even the stuff I had on pre-order from the Godzilla store, it was supposed to come out in December. We're in January now. I have not gotten a shipping update or notice or anything like that, so I don't know when the other stuff I ordered is even shipping. That's another thing, again, with just everything just being pre-order, and it's like, I understand that's kind of how it is and always has been, but it just seems like it's so much now. Like, I feel like to keep up with everything, you're just pre-ordering stuff, spending your money, and then you're waiting 6 months to a year for this thing to come out. And to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't like that as much either. Um, and it's not even just the GodzillaStore.com or anything. So many companies are having this issue. Mondo, to my knowledge, still has issues of putting out pre-orders for things. It's scheduled to come out at a certain time, and then either delays happen or something else happens, and none of this stuff releases on time anymore. It doesn't matter how far it is out. That's just the other issue. You pre-order something, it says it's supposed to come out and release during this time period, and it never does. For instance, I have on Sideshow Collectibles a couple figures pre-ordered, and those are supposed to come out, I think it said between January or February or January to March. So you have kind of like a 3-month window of when those things will probably be in hand and ready to ship. So I'm kind of waiting on those two things right now, because I have to finish paying those off, but I can't finish paying those off until the company has them in hand and they're ready to ship, and then you pay the rest and then they send them out. But it's like, again, we're in January. I haven't even gotten any notices on that yet. And again, that's from another company, Sideshow Collectibles. So it's like, it doesn't matter what company, what department it is. They'll schedule these things to release, but then they never do release on time. So it's just kind of like, it's just one of those things that you're kind of a given now whenever you order something. But yeah, I don't have a lot on order though. Again, I have a couple things from the Godzilla store, a couple things from Sideshow Collectibles. That's it. Christmas, I got some more Kamen Rider figures, which was nice. I actually got this guy to showcase here. I actually can't wait to put up this review. This guy's reviews a couple reviews down, but this Kamen Rider Amazon Alpha, really, really a great figure. The metallic paint on this guy is absolutely amazing. The articulation's solid. I mean, just everything is fantastic. And then I have his gigantic gun in his hands right now, but my buddy Matt from Monstrosities, who came last week, Bobby Reynolds, what's going on? He went to Japan back in November, and he was nice enough to be on the lookout for some stuff for me. And he ended up finding this Kamen Rider Zolda from Figma. And again, I have his giant gun. Is his gun big enough? In his hands. And surprisingly, he actually stands really well with it. And I've had some Figma figures in the past. I think they've been also known as Max Factory, because I do have all the old Guyver Max Factory figures and stuff like that. But, compared to like an SH Figure Arts, the Figma figures aren't bad. They're maybe a little bit smaller scale, but it's so minuscule that you really don't notice it unless you're really looking hard. If you just kind of like, if you're just watching something and glancing, it's like they look more or less the same size type figure. But I mean, this guy's really cool. Again, he came with his giant gun. He comes with his other little pistol, and he comes with some other hands, and he even came with like a stand, and you even get this little Figma Ziploc bag to put your like accessories and stuff in, which is nice. And again, the Figma figures, these are only, I think these range from like 30 to 40 bucks. And again, when comparing them to an SH Figure Arts figure, which is like closer to maybe 75 to like 90, $100, depending on the Kamen Rider figure, this is nice. It's nice to have that option out there that's actually decent. And it's cheaper. Granted, the Kamen Rider figures are more reasonably priced than the Monster Art stuff, which again, diving into another thing that, let's see, SH Monster Arts. That's another topic I have on since we're on it. And see, I can't spit fire through these topics though, because I don't want the show to be too short, but I want some engagement. Guys, ask me questions if you have them too. Anything that's on your noggin. I mean, SH Figure Arts, Monster Arts, Tamashii Nations as a whole, I still don't understand their quality issues. I don't get it. And the quality issues along with their price point, you know, the way that they price things. Again, their Kamen Rider stuff, I have no problem with. The Kamen Rider stuff, I have to say, is some of the best action figures that I own. Paint, articulation, all that stuff, the detail, solid figures, good price points. Even in the aftermarkets, they're still worth just a little upcharge. Nothing too crazy, but a little upcharge, you're still getting a really decent figure if you have to resort to aftermarket for some of the products. Because their Monster Arts line, I don't know. The 1972 Ghidorah has been getting into people's hands. And again, that figure is like $300. You know, depending on where you get it, it's probably over $300 after taxes, shipping, and all that other jazz. But people are getting it in hand, and it's already has quality control issues to the ends of the earth and back. I mean, and I even stated this in a couple of my older videos about this SH Monster Arts Ghidorah that was coming out. I'm pretty sure it's going to have joint issues. I'm pretty sure, you know, that it's going to have paint issues. It does. Some people have loose joints. I'm not sure if anyone's opened up a box and maybe a ball joint has been separated and is kind of in pieces. I don't think I've heard of that yet. But the paint issues with this Ghidorah I've heard about, I knew it was coming. So they were painting the eyes on this thing. You think on all three heads, those eyes were going to come out forward, straight, pristine? No. There's some videos out there, you guys, and this Ghidorah's got some googly eyes, and it looks bad. I mean, I just don't get it. And again, their Monster Art stuff is more expensive, but it's like, it's garbage. Why are you going to pay that much for a garbage product when you have these Kamen Rider figures, which again, look at this line work with the green, and it's just clean, it's nice, it's a smaller type figure. And again, granted, painting eyes is not that easy. This type of painting with like all of these, you know, all the green and everything like that, that's not easy either. But there's no bit of slop on this guy. There's no bit of slop. There's no bit of bleed over. It's clean. And again, you got a figure here that's like $90, $80 probably when it came out. It's a little over $100 now in the aftermarket, but still a solid figure. And I just don't understand. It's the same company. Why can't their stuff all be flawless like this? It just, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't think Monster Arts are worth it anymore. You know, that's another thing is like, there's nothing really to collect anymore because why do I want to spend $300 on a Ghidorah figure and it has messed up eyes? No effect parts, no nothing, just a basic Ghidorah figure. And it's got quality control issues that are a big problem. Bobby Reynolds, Godzilla and Togura team up versus Tiamat from D&D. Oh, there you go. Fantasy battles. Let's go. But I just don't get Tamashii Nations. I praise them where it's due, but it's like the Godzilla stuff. all their older Godzilla figures, again, it's not that I hate Monster Arts. I have so many SH Monster Arts figures from when they first started. And those figures are so much better than what we get today. It's just sad. It's just sad. The prices are outrageous for what you get, in my opinion. It's not worth it. So it's like that's another reason I've just kind of been collecting Kamen Rider stuff, is it's better quality, it's better priced, and you're just getting a better product overall. And it's fun. You want to enjoy that stuff. The last thing you want is to be buying and putting money into this stuff, and then you get it in hand and you have that buyer's regret, or you're like, oh, I spent that much on this and this is what I got. That sucks. That sucks so much. It's no fun. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the Kamen Rider stuff. If you haven't, I apologize. But it's just something that, I've been into, and I've been enjoying sharing it with you guys. And again, it's just something that's fresher. It's just kind of what's hip with me right now, if that makes sense. Some other goodies, though, that I will share with you guys that my buddy Matt brought from Japan. He got me some mini poster pamphlet things. This one came from Enoshima Aquarium, if I'm pronouncing that right. They had a little event thing going on. And so we had this little thing. And then it even has a backside with other pictures of display, exhibits and merchandise stuff and everything like that. So I do enjoy these little things. I can't wait to put these up somewhere in the collection room. But there was that one. There's this little one for the Godzilla store. And it has all the different, and see, that's another thing that me and Matt touched on. It was nice when maybe there was one or two Godzilla stores. There is 6 now. And again, just oversaturated. They almost all have the same products. But that's what you mean. How else can I explain it? It's like me walking into a collector's shop these days. Almost all they have are Funko Pops. I don't care about that crap. I want to see some cool stuff. I want to see some off-the-wall stuff, not this oversaturated junk, because I'm not big on Funko Pops. I do not like them. I do have some special Funko Pops in my collection that were gifts or I don't even know if it... Can you guys see it on screen? Right here. That's actually a Funko Pop of me that my wife had custom made. So, that's special in a way. But it's I hate walking into a collector store or a comic shop, and it's just wall of Funko Pops. That's almost all they have. And it's just that's no fun. But still, a really cool, advertisement mini poster for the Godzilla store. Has all the listings and stuff like that. So there was those two. I have no idea what this pamphlet is, but it is for CCP Japan. And it's got some cool images of Gamera. It's got some Guron on there, as well as some other kaiju that I think are Ultraman related. I'm not 100% sure. But I got this little Shindig advertisement poster thing from him. And then another thing that he brought that I'm actually going to gift to my wife, and probably we might put in a double-sided frame or something like that, because it's got 2 sides. But she's a big Back to the Future fan. And Matt was able to snag one of these 40th anniversary Back to the Future, Japanese mini posters for IMAX 4D. So Matt came back with some really cool goodies that I'm excited to share with you guys, and eventually I'm gonna get up and around in the kaiju room here and stuff like that. I've been thinning some stuff out in the collection just to make room for, again, stuff that I'd rather be collecting right now. So I'm eventually gonna either be donating, or who knows, I might do some giveaways in the future. In reality, it's kind of like a gift box for Kaiju Chill O'Clock stuff. Or not Kaiju Chill O'Clock, but Tucson Kaiju Festival stuff. If I ever get around to doing another Tucson Kaiju Festival, I have some like giveaway stuff to do. But other than that, let's see here. Bobby Reynolds, I would be one of those guys who wish for a War of the Monsters movie, Togura movie, even though knowing they won't be coming around, but still, well, it's something to be hopeful for. Again, media is something. It's another thing we're going to be talking about is media here in the show, so stay tuned for that. We can do fan films of those guys, Togura, Bobby Reynolds. Your mind just goes with that fantasy battle stuff, man. And then I love all the 3 Back to the Future movies. Back to the Future movies are fun. Back to the Future was something I never was really into, but, to each their own. Can I give a pause just for 1 minute, you guys? I actually forgot to grab myself some water, and I'm doing a lot of talking, and I don't want to lose my voice or, accidentally cough because my throat's getting dry. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Any comments, concern? No. Okay, cool. We're good. What's up, you guys? We got 3 people on in here, 2 likes. Thank you so much for being here for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68. We got 1968's Destroy All Monsters on in the background. My first Godzilla movie of the year. Haven't watched one in a minute, actually. But, Richmond, Wisconsin, what's cooking? What's going on? Hey, what's going on, man? We've just been talking about several different topics here in this first half hour of Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68. If you missed it, hopefully you go back and you watch it. You want to chime in. We got 4 people on in here. This is what I'm talking about. I just got myself some water, so it's nice to come back and see some more people on in here watching. What's going on, everybody? Again, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year with friends, family, and all that good stuff. Hope you just had a good holiday in general. And here's to 2026. But Bobby Reynolds, Destroy All Monsters is the best. Again, I don't know why people love Final Wars. Which, now that we're on that topic of Final Wars, time for me to rag on Final Wars like I always do. Not really. In a way. Talking again about SH Monster Arts. So they're doing a Final Wars Godzilla 2.0, I guess you could call it. It's the reissue of the Godzilla Final Wars. Comes with red spines. It comes with a red beam, which the red beam is nothing even special. It's their oldest mold of a Godzilla beam. That mold has been around since the very first SH Monster Arts Godzilla 94. So nothing new there. It comes with the Gotengo, which a lot of people are excited for, but even myself, I don't care about Final Wars, so I was never going to pick it up anyway. But then here's the other thing, is that this thing's going to be about almost $200, and I don't think it's going to be worth it. One, because they're first Godzilla Final Wars figure that came out, I saw reviews on that thing. People weren't really happy. Quality control was here and there. Paint was bad. Stuff like that. And it was just, again, disappointing to see. But where you can't defend certain fans first, like, because it doesn't make sense. There's been people in the comment section of like Tamashii Nations and stuff like that with these figures. And for the Final Wars Godzilla figure, there was one person, they legitimately commented, I can't wait to pick this up because the first one that released was so bad and had quality control issues that were terrible. And that, you know, thinking that picking up this one, that this one's going to be any better. I hate to say it. Who knows? It might be. Who knows? Tamashii Nations may totally do a do-over. But the fact that their quality control with the Monster Arts line has been so bad, I have a feeling that this Final Wars Godzilla with the Gotengo, it's not going to be that good. I hate to say it. I just don't think it's going to be that good. We got the monsters attacking Tokyo. I love this scene so much. Again, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This is what's awesome. Not CGI, not digital created. Man, just man in suit, crushing those buildings, explosions happening, the music. I love this scene so much. Destroy All Monsters is the best. If you think Final Wars is better than this, you're wrong. Because, Destroy All Monsters is awesome. I love that movie so much. God, it's one of my favorites. Let's see. Let me check the live chat. Okay, we're doing good. But, again, I just don't get Tamashii Nations. Why they can put out an awesome product and near flawless with their Kamen Rider, even their Tekken figures, like I've said in the past. But then their Monster Art stuff is so much more expensive, but it's so much more, like, it's just terrible. It's a terrible product. I just don't understand them. So I'm not, again, I can't defend the Monster Arts line. I can't be one of those fans because it's just like, if it's garbage, I'm going to tell you guys. And if it's not worth the money, I'm going to tell you guys. And it's like, I just don't get the way of thinking that this new Godzilla Final Wars with the Gotengo is going to be any better than the first release, and it's going to justify the higher... You know what I mean? Like, there's no... I wouldn't do that. You know? That's like me turning around and buying the 1972 Ghidorah for $300. Later on, they come out with a reissue that maybe has, like, effect parts. Maybe it comes with a Godzilla tower. I don't know. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to also get that one. And that one's like almost $500. But hey, it's probably going to be better than the first release. I just don't trust Tamashii Nations with the Monster Arts line anymore. Like, they're so bad figures. They're so highly priced, and they're such a garbage product. SH Monster Arts. And again, X Plus has been dry too. Which, again, they just announced Godzilla Jr. in the 25 centimeter, which people are excited about. And I'm excited about it too. But it's like, do I really want to shell out the money for this Godzilla Jr.? Even though I want it, again, there's other things I'd rather collect right now. You know, it's like Godzilla Jr. came out a little too late, if that makes sense. It's like, I'd like it, but it's like, for the price that it is, which isn't bad, I'd still rather put that money towards this other stuff I'd rather collect right now. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Moving on from that topic to moving on to maybe like media and physical media stuff. Again, there's physical media stuff I'd rather collect right now. On pre-order from Media Blasters, I actually have Kamen Rider Dyad, which is a dual set of the movies Kamen Rider the first and Kamen Rider the next. That is supposed to come out in like the next week, almost 2 weeks from now, I want to say. Really excited for that to ship, and I can't wait to watch those movies because I've heard mixed things about those movies, but I've always been interested in watching them, and I love that Media Blasters has released them. I didn't get the collector's edition that already came out, but the standard edition will do just fine for me. And my buddy Matt, again, who's kind of been my guide down this Kamen Rider road, he kind of knows what I like, and he's been pointing me in the right direction. He's not sure I will like the first, but he says I will like the next. But we'll see. You know, I'll be the judge for myself. I really like the Kamen Rider suit designs in those movies. I've seen bits and pieces of clips of those movies online, and they look fun. So I can't wait to watch those. So I got that coming in. One of my favorite movies from last year, I have to say, guys, was a movie that went under the radar, and I highly recommend to anyone out there watching. If you can find it physically, it's worth the pickup. If you can only find it online, like on Amazon or something somewhere to get digitally to either rent or something like that, it's worth that. But this movie went so under. It came out in theaters, but you never heard really anything about it. Primitive War. This movie is really good for what it is. Had a budget of $7 million, and compared to like a $300+ million like Marvel movie and something like that, this blows all of that out of the water. Solid plot, good characters, good music soundtrack. The CGI and effects are really, really good. It's basically Vietnam, 1968. So you got the Vietnam War, and then you get soldiers that get mixed in with dinosaurs, and then there's another twist that you kind of don't see coming. So I'm not going to spoil anything. But this, if you guys can watch this somewhere, I highly recommend this movie. Primitive War is so good. It's so fun. It may look like your average, like, B-rated sci-fi channel weekend movie or something, but it's better. I mean, again, the characters, the plot, the effects, the dinosaurs are cool. This is a really solid film, so I highly recommend picking up or somehow watching Primitive War if I have a recommendation for you guys. Again, this movie went under the radar. It deserved a lot more praise, in my opinion, because it is a solid movie. Why movies can't be like this anymore, I don't know why. Because out of everything that's come out in like the last couple years, has just been slop from Hollywood. Like, there has been nothing good. It's either pushes a message or pushes an agenda, and it's like, we don't care about that. We want to see a good, solid movie. That is what this is. This is a solid film. I believe they're doing a sequel. I don't know how much money it made in the box office, but again, for $7 million budget, this movie is good. Again, way better than those $300+ million movies that come out today. So, Primitive War, check it out. But yeah, physical media. Another thing that me and my buddy Matt have talked about is a lot of companies are getting out of the physical media game. And that kind of sucks. I feel like eventually physical media is going to be a thing of the past. I have a feeling in the next possibly maybe 1 to maybe 5 years, theaters might no longer exist. People are just so into streaming or buying and renting on Amazon Prime. It's just so much more accessible that way. But in my opinion, granted, streaming is convenient. I don't prefer it. I'm a physical media guy. I like taking it off the shelf, opening it up, and popping it in. That's just the kind of person I am. Nothing beats that for me. And it's accessible. I don't have to worry about a streaming service discontinuing a certain movie or a series, which that's always a thing too. If you have a lot of streaming services, and again, streaming services, once you have like 2 or 3 of them, sometimes 4 of them, it ends up being like the same price as if you were paying for cable per month. Because then you're paying for this subscription that's $10, this one that's $12, this one that's $5, whatever it may be. And it racks up. And it's just like, my wife and I, we have Netflix, and we recently got HBO Max. And the only reason we did get HBO Max was so we could check out the Welcome to Derry show, which was actually pretty good. But that's really all we were interested in with HBO Max. So it's like after we're done with our first month, we're probably going to discontinue it and then probably resubscribe when more Welcome to Derry comes out, because I guess they're going to be doing a season 2. So it's like, it's like Netflix. Netflix is another one that we has an extensive library, but I don't find myself watching a lot of stuff on Netflix. I find myself watching stuff on physical. Me and my wife, we're watching Supernatural because we love Supernatural, for those who are Supernatural fans, Sam and Dean Winchester, stuff like that. We love that show. So we were rewatching and revisiting that show. And then, December, we're taking away Supernatural, even though it's been on Netflix forever. We were like, of course, right when we're in the middle of watching it, then you're going to be like, it's leaving. So another thing that's nice is for Christmas, my wife and I, we were asked by family and stuff, what do we want for Christmas? We never know what we want. It's like, we can never really think of anything. We don't really need anything. We don't like to be like, oh, we like this. We don't make a list. But we were just kind of like throwing out hints and little things. The complete series of Supernatural would be nice to have on physical. Continue watching it. And so my wife's family, my in-laws, they got us all 15 seasons of Supernatural on Blu-ray. So now I have Supernatural on physical media, which is nice because that's always a fun show to revisit because there's so many episodes, and Supernatural is one of those shows that even rewatching it, there were some episodes that I'm like, I don't remember this at all. And that's because there's so many episodes, there's so much things that happen that you can rewatch it and that you may forget about an episode and it's like watching it again for the first time and it's fun. So again, physical media is king. That's the way to go. And it just really sucks that a lot of these companies are thinking of getting out of the physical media game. Shout Factory, Scream Factory, they're one that Matt was talking about. They're wanting to get out of physical media and they're wanting to do their own streaming service. Again, it's like, is it only a matter of time before Criterion, some of these other companies, Media Blasters, whatever, get out of the physical media game or just drop it and then try to go into like their own type of streaming service, And again, that's just what it comes down to is you got all these different streaming services. It's just like, I'd rather just have it on my shelf. I buy what I like anyways, because everything that I own are movies that I can watch countless times or over again or whatever because I enjoy them. So physical media is king. Let me check on your guys' comments here. Bobby Reynolds, character that is awesome, but the movie is bad. I couldn't put a finger on that for you for that question. Character that's fun, but the movie they're in is bad. I'm sure there's examples out there, but again, everything I own, I enjoy. So maybe even if it's a bad movie, but I enjoy it, yeah, that's a hard one, Bobby. I don't know how to answer that one. Bobby, the light starts flickering. Godzilla fan. Oh, you're coming up with your scenarios. Man, Bobby Reynolds, just become a director already. But, guys, thank you for those of you who are here for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 68. I'm in the middle of Destroy All Monsters right now. If anybody would like to comment, because I'm not sure how long the show's going to go for today, but what's the next movie you want me to throw on? The first 2 comments, I'll pick a Godzilla movie out of those. If anyone says Final Wars, I'm going to be mad. Don't make me watch Final Wars after Destroy All Monsters. That's just No, no, you're gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth. Watch, everyone's gonna comment Godzilla Final Wars from this movie. Just torture me. Let's see, physical media. We talked about the collecting market, new figures. Talked about the SH Monster Arts. See, I wrap up all these topics, man. We're almost 10 minutes to go and we're almost an hour in, but I promise to try to go a little more. Guys, this is where questions help too. Please ask me questions, whatever's on your mind. Maybe if it's a topic that I haven't touched on or a figure that I haven't talked about yet, please ask me. Ooh, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah 1991. I like where you're going, Bobby Reynolds. All right. If we can get one more person to comment a Godzilla movie for me to throw on next, it's between Godzilla versus King Ghidorah 91 and something else. So someone else comment another Godzilla movie, and I will pick one of those two to throw on next. But King Ghidorah, actually watch that one in a minute. So that might be a good one. Man, one of the last topics I have on here is kind of a sour topic to talk about, so we might do that one last. The next one's not really a huge topic to talk about, but it's something to get out of the way. For those that have noticed, or again, if you follow Godzilla Fan Freaks on Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, Nick Adams from the Monster Report actually got me into the Knock Knock app. And I was on the Knock Knock app, and I was doing like animation video shorts of figures and stuff like that, because basically what it does is you take a picture of something and then it uses AI to animate your image. And so you could take pictures of your figures and you could put in a prompt or a description of what you want it to do, and it would basically not 100% act it out, but it would like do its best. But it was a cool little app. And I recently went to go back into it to do some animations and post some stuff, but I couldn't get back into it. I would go in, I would reset my password because I forgot the password. And but when I would go do that and then go to my email, I would put in the number it would give me, but then it wouldn't do anything after that. And then I tried uninstalling the app, reinstalling it, stuff like that. Nothing worked. So I couldn't get back into it, and I wasn't going to make a whole new account. So Godzilla Fan Freaks is on Knock Knock, but not going to be posting anything anymore because I can't get to the account. So that was a nice short-lived experience. It was just one of those things. I was like, really, man? And then now I can't get back into it. I don't want to make another account. No. So, oh well. But I believe the Monster Report, Nick Adams, he's still on there. So make sure you go follow him on Knock Knock. Nauk, Nauk. That's how it's spelled. But really fun app at the end of the day. It's free to use too. But it was fun for what it was. But so there's that little thing to talk about, which soaked up like 2 minutes. Okay. This last topic. I thought about doing this into a video, but I was like, I got some advice from some of my friends, from my buddy Matt from Monstrosities, and he was telling me maybe not do it that way. Because then he was actually worried about retaliation coming back to me, which, I am thankful for because I didn't really think about it that way, but people will be people these days. But I figured this is a topic better suited for a live stream. So if you want kind of a fun story experience, strap yourselves in, get your popcorn. Here we go. And this is not an attack on anybody or anything. This is blatantly just an experience that I had with a business. I'm not going to really talk bad about them. I'm not going to say don't go shop at their website. But take this information however you will. But I am not attacking anybody. I'm not attacking any communities or anything like that. I am just stating an experience with a business that I had that left a sour taste in my mouth, and again reflects on the collecting market and why it just also it kind of sucks right now, and things are slow, and things like this don't help at all. So you guys might have known me to mention a company called Ghost X Ghost in the past before, ghostxghost.com. Really neat company. I want to say on a scale, they're probably a little bit smaller than Cavity Colors. So they're a relatively small business. But Ghost X Ghost put out a lot of the Godzilla like enamel pins that I have on my lanyard. They put out a lot of t-shirts. I have like a couple posters from them. But Ghost X Ghost had good experiences with them up until this point. I don't know if it was they were just having a bad year or what was going on with them. But it was towards the tail end of last year. They ended up putting up a new... It was a t-shirt. Yeah, it was a t-shirt. It was a t-shirt design of a Godzilla monster. And I just kind of stated some criticism. And like it wasn't like bad criticism. I felt it constructive criticism, you know? But again, you know, people take things the way that they do. But it was just the way they reacted to it. As a business, I wouldn't necessarily talk to a customer that way. For those that are on Instagram, you could probably even go on Instagram and check out the comments because they're still there. But I kind of just stated, because Ghost X Ghost was doing a lot of collaboration with the Godzilla artist Matt Frank, which I don't have a problem with Matt Frank. He has a cool style. You know, Matt Frank does, you know, his own thing. Now, I've heard a lot of different things about Matt Frank from different people in different communities, but I've never had a really bad experience with Matt Frank. So, again, this is not anything towards him. But I was just stating a comment saying, you know, there are other Godzilla artists. I'd like to see, like, variety. Because Ghost X Ghost, almost all their products was, you know, Matt Frank, Matt Frank, Matt Frank, Matt Frank. And it was, again, he has a cool style, all that good stuff. But as a collector, as you guys can see, I collect X Plus, I collect Bandai, I collect NECA, Playmates, Trendmasters, Marmot, CCP. You know, I collect all these different lines. So I like variety. But that's basically all I said was, you know, I'd like to see some other Godzilla artists. And then there was another person, random person that commented saying, like, I hate consistency and reliability, which I'm not saying I hate anything. I'm just saying I'd like to see different artists. Then the company chimed in and was like, basically kind of like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And I was kind of like, oh, whoa, like, what did I do? Like, I'm not like, and I was basically like, okay, hang on, pump the brakes. I'm not even trying to start anything. I'm just offering a suggestion, you know, again, constructive criticism, which again, you know, people will take criticism how they want. But as a business, it was just kind of like, I wouldn't talk to a customer that way, especially, again, they're a smaller business. So again, they're kind of taking the hit from this response that they did to me. But it was just like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. You know, we got a good thing going on with Matt, you know, and I was just kind of like, whoa, well, hang on. I'm one of your customers. I've bought quite a few of your products. Like, I have quite a few of their t-shirts. I have a couple posters. I have a bunch of pins. So it's like, I am a returning customer to them. You know, like, I've invested money into their company buying their products. But now after that whole experience and everything else and you know, responding to them that way, and they basically respond back, well, hey, we're nothing but calm here, and kind of, you know, gave their excuse or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I was just kind of, you know, give some of my input as a customer. And then they were kind of like, input noted, more Matt Frank. And that was just kind of like passive aggressive. That's kind of how I took it. And I was just kind of like, why are you going to be annoying like that? Like, you know, and it was a weird experience. It was weird, and it left a sour taste in my mouth to where I don't want to do business with them anymore. I don't want to buy their products anymore, which sucks because here's the kicker. About a week later after that interaction, they put out another Kaiju t-shirt, different Godzilla art, different artist, and it's one of my favorite Kaiju, King Caesar from the Showa era. And I was basically kind of like, man, I'd love to get that shirt, but after that interaction, I can't do it. I can't do it. So they lost a customer. And whether any of you or anyone who watches this has ordered on Ghost X Ghost, I'm not saying don't go buy from them. I'm not saying, hey, if you like them, hey, whatever. I'm just giving you my experience. And it was just kind of, it sucks because granted, I'm only one person. Still, they're a smaller end company and they just basically kind of shunned somebody to a point to where it left a sour taste in my mouth. And I'm like, I don't want to give you any more money. I don't want to buy anything from you anymore. I don't care if it is one of my favorite kaiju. I'm not going to do it. Now, I still have something from Ghost X Ghost on pre-order. But again, I put that pre-order in before that interaction. That was like a few weeks before that interaction. I ended up pre-ordering their Space Godzilla t-shirt, which again was a different Godzilla artist. It wasn't Matt Franks, so it was cool. But again, so whenever that Space Godzilla t-shirt comes in, that's the last thing I'm ever going to get from Ghost X Ghost. And it sucks because I like the pins that they did. They're enamel pins. I can even show you guys here because I have them right here. They're enamel pins that they did. Gigan, Baragon, Megalon, Space Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, the Hedra here. All those enamel pins, these are awesome. They're great pins. I loved collecting those. Now if they come out with any other pins that I'm interested in, well, I guess I'm not buying any more pins. And it's like, that sucks, man. Like, that's no good. So, if you run a business, be nice to your customers. Like, don't be passive aggressive. You just don't talk to somebody that way. Because I've been in business for myself. I've been self-employed before. And, when I was doing metal artwork and stuff with my dad and our shop and stuff like that, we had customers come in and they would ask prices on things, but they'd be like, ooh, or, it's a little too expensive or whatever. And be like, okay, that's fine. We have some of this other stuff if you're interested, that's a little cheaper. But I'm just not going to say, all right, well then get out of my shop then if I'm too rich for your blood or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you don't talk to somebody that way if you're in business and you're trying to make a sale. Yeah. That's just kind of what's been going on. And again, that goes into the collecting market. That just shut down an outlet that I was buying stuff through. And now I can't put money into that anymore. Because again, I don't want to give that company money because of the way that they were acting. And it was just like, all I did was a suggestion, customer criticism, a little bit of constructive, and then that, it just wasn't the right response. It left a really sour taste in my mouth. And that sucks because again, it was a website, it was a company that I was an active customer on. I was actively buying stuff through, pre-ordering their items, and now I got to be like, sorry. Let's see, Bobby Reynolds, for me, Raiga is one of those characters I love. The Raiga movie was interesting. Ooh, Rich from Wisconsin, Godzilla's Revenge. Ouch. Ooh, Godzilla's Revenge against Ghidorah 91 is the next movie? I almost want to put on Godzilla's Revenge just for laughs. I feel like Godzilla's Revenge is going to go on next. That one's always just a fun one to listen to in the background. But I don't think the Criterion Collection had the American dub of Godzilla's Revenge. I think I have to watch the Classic Media release DVD, because I can't watch Godzilla's Revenge in Japanese. For me, it's unwatchable in Japanese. That's just me. There's something about it. I just can't watch it in Japanese. It has to be the English dubbed. Maybe that's because I grew up with it and I watched it so much as a kid. But I prefer the English dubbed of Godzilla's Revenge over the Japanese. Rich saying, yes, being rude does not make a sale. It doesn't, and it sucks. You know, it sucks because I really liked what they did. I liked their Metalcropolis t-shirts. Because, again, that's one thing that was really nice about them that they did. Lined Rogue, what's going on? Was Ghost X Ghost did a lot of they had an artist do a depiction of their kaiju, and then they did like their name in like a death metal type font and stuff like that, to where they called it their Metalcropolis collection, basically, to where each kaiju was that they did basically had their own kind of like metal t-shirt, and that was a cool concept. Again, not collecting them anymore. Kim said, being an artist, I get asked to lower my prices all the time. I'm willing to do it for people if they are nice. I'm open to critics if they are respectful. I've been ripped to pieces before. People suck. They do. They do. They do. People suck. I mean, whether you're in business or you're a customer, you know, customers can suck. Businesses can suck. Again, Kim summed it up perfect. People just suck, you know, and it just sucks. It's the name of the game, but it just really sucks as a collector, because I really like their product, and now I'm like, well, one less place to buy from, because again, I just don't understand the interaction, especially when a week later they ended up doing another Godzilla t-shirt and it wasn't Matt Frank art related. You know, like it was a different artist, like what I was asking. And it was just kind of like, well, you responded the way you couldn't have just said, we got some stuff coming up, don't worry. That would have been my response. Would have been like, you know, thank you for your input, but don't worry, we got stuff lined up with other artists coming out soon. That would have kept me as a customer. Not the way that they went about it, because now they lost me as a customer. And again, this was something I was thinking about covering in a video, but my buddy Matt from Monstrosities was just letting me know the community is weird. If someone gets downwind of it or something, they may think you're attacking them or attacking a community or what. And it's like, that's not what I'm doing. This is a simple interaction. And so I figured it would just be better to cover this topic in a live session, which I think was the proper way to go. But, you know, and this has got us all talking about, what's the story with the oxygen destroyer you got in... Oh, man, Rich, you're asking that question. Okay, it's funny you brought that up, considering I haven't even shown it on like today anyway. I've shown it on screen in the past. So, let's see if I can do this here. Let me not knock anything over. Take a swig here really quick. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have to unhook you guys. No. Let me move this. But I can flip my camera to where you guys can see it. So what Rich is talking about is this thing here. This was gifted to me by a local artist and a cosplayer creator. You know, he made like a bunch. He would make like props and like things for costumes and stuff. He was able to 3D print stuff, and he built all this by hand 3D printed some parts, put it together. He even made the box. With it, which, comes with, little things that you can even lock it and latch it if you want to. You can put some padlocks on it. And, granted, it has like Monsterverse stuff on it. I don't really care about that as much, but it's still a cool box. And he created this oxygen destroyer, and he actually had a table and was, at my Tucson Kaiju Festival back in 2023. I forget if he was at the first one. I don't remember. But he had this as like a showcase. He made this for the festival. And it's just a really cool item, really cool piece. And basically, he's working on retiring, so he's like downgrading some stuff. And he basically messaged me one day and he's like, "Hey, do you want this stuff?" Didn't say, "Do I want to buy it?" Didn't say anything like that. He's like, "Do you want it?" Because he's like, he wants it to go to somebody who's going to appreciate it, who knows what it is, stuff like that. And I was like, you don't even have to ask me twice. And so, yeah, I accepted. And he came over one day. He delivered it. And, yeah, so I can't be more happy with this thing. This thing is completely awesome. It's got a gauge on it and everything like that. But yeah, he did this all handmade. He did the box. He made these little canisters just for effect, just to add a little bit more. And yep, it just sits right down in the box nicely. So that's the story behind that. Oh, we're getting to the final battle of Destroy All Monsters. All right, probably going to throw on Godzilla's Revenge on next, and I'll probably just keep watching that even after the stream's over. But any other questions? That was a great one, Rich. Thank you. Bobby Reynolds, did I get that electric tower? Oh, this thing? It's not really, like, it looks like one, but it's a piece of cardboard that came with a model kit. And you can like bend the legs to help it stand. That's all this is. It's nothing fancy, Bobby. It's just like a little cardboard cutout that you could set up with. It came with a model kit, and I just kind of propped it next to Godzilla 62. It's nothing crazy, but really looking forward to like the cityscape and everything that Titanic Creations is like coming out with and stuff like that. That should be a lot of fun. See, let me check my live chat here. Rich said it looks freaking awesome. It's a cool piece, man. It's a cool piece. I want to say I'm like one of the few, because I know that there's other collectors who have oxygen destroyers in their collection. I want to say I'm like maybe one out of like 5 people in the United States that has an oxygen destroyer. I know Mike Ross has one. I know that there's a collector in California that I think that has an oxygen destroyer. Each of them have their own different origin stories. I mean, some of them were made. I don't think anyone has one that's casted from the original. I don't think. But this one, it's life size. It's awesome. I don't really have a spot for it, so it just kind of sits here in the middle of the room, and there's walking space on each side that you can get around it, so it works. But that was the hardest thing, was where am I going to put this thing now? I don't know. But anyway, great questions, you guys. Is there anything else? Any other topics you guys want me to talk about? Anything I didn't touch on earlier in the show? I'm trying to think here. We could just do kind of like a little tour. You guys want a tour? You guys want to walk around, see the Godzilla Fan Freaks HQ? I'm actually going to be changing some things around. Like I'm going to be swapping out some like posters and stuff and everything like that. So Actually, Kim, if Kim's still in the chat, I'm gonna commission her to like be replacing some of these posters and stuff that I'm gonna be taking down and like swapping out and stuff like that. So she's an artist, and she does some great work. So I'm gonna be doing that. So Bobby Reynolds loves the tour. Awesome, let's do it. Let me just so YouTube doesn't do anything funny, I'm gonna turn down the TV just a couple notches. Hopefully we don't get footage in on the thing. Let's rotate back around. Let me get you guys unplugged here. And then Kim, you got it? Would love to. Heck yeah. So I'm not sure what I want yet, but like I said, Kim, I'll let you know. But yeah, let's do a little room tour. Check out the Godzilla Fan Freaks HQ. Well, it's been a minute. And then we'll wrap up the show. I do promise to watch Godzilla's Revenge, though, after Destroy All Monsters! It's the final battle. Footage! Speaking of Destroy All Monsters, I love this poster. I love that poster so much. It's a little hidden from the Snake Mountain, but it was like the only place I could put it. Better than Godzilla Final Wars. Fight me. Oh no! Aegirus, he's falling! Footage! But, yeah. I can't remember the last time I did a tour. There's been some things that have been different. I know you guys have seen my grandfather's recliner chair that I inherited from my grandmother. I got this one. This is what I call the Lazy Mothra chair because I got the Mothra blanket on it. But I got another recliner chair back here now. All the good stuff. Here's some Ghost X Ghost stuff that I can talk about. So here was their Baragon design, which again, Matt Frank artwork. Again, not a problem. But see, it's like they had such a cool thing, cool product and everything going. And like, I love this stuff. And now I gotta say, no more. You know, this Ghidra, the three-headed monster poster, was from Ghost X Ghost. So again, you know, they had some really, really cool products. And now it's like, well, oh well. But, yeah. Get you a nice 360 shot of the media room and everything. I do have to replace some LED lights here. These LED lights ended up going out on me in these two sections. So I eventually got to restring and replace those, but all the others work. Smog Monster! If there's anything you guys want me to focus on, just let me know. And talk about, you know. My desk is a little bit of a mess right now, but it's because I got figures and I had stuff out for the show. Corn nuts. I didn't even open them up. Got the snack for Kaiju Chill O'Clock. Remember your corn nuts, people. But see, SH Monster Arts, talking about SH Monster Arts, you know, like a lot of this stuff in here is SH Monster Arts. That's the very first SH Monster Arts figure ever, the Godzilla 94. And see, there's that beam effect. There's some NECA in there. But see, I love SH Monster Arts. Good stuff. But man, I mean, now it's not very good, but let's see here. Bobby Reynolds, we could take a look of the multi-monsters behind the Godzilla line with the Godzilla Tugger and others. Oh, are you talking about the art piece that's up here? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I ended up getting this at G-Fest. That was a G-Fest buy one year. I got to get you all the way up, but Yeah, it's got like a collaboration of like several different monsters. It's just one big banner piece. But really, really cool. In a few months, it'll be time for a yearly collection video. So you guys know that usually comes around. I want to say I usually do my collection videos around March, April. I want to say is when I do my collection videos. So, like I said, we got a few months here, but expect a new collection video here in a few months, however long it takes. Don't mind my clutter. I'm drying some laundry. Here is the bag that my buddy Matt brought from me from the official Godzilla store in Japan. So that's a nice little keepsake. I just kind of have it draped on that butterfly door there. Speaking of Destroy All Monsters, there's the Moonlight SY3. Love that spaceship. Oh no! My tripod does not bend that way. But there's my little tour for you guys. It's really kind of all I have right now. Again, there really hasn't been a lot going on. You guys want to know my backlog of model kits that I need to build? These are all my model kits that are pending that I have to build. I got a few. Hopefully no more for now. I got to build them. But that about does it, you guys. I mean, again, I will put on Godzilla's Revenge here after the stream. Thanks, Rich for Wisconsin and Bobby Reynolds for your suggestions. Let me go ahead and take a seat here, and we'll work on wrapping up the show. Any last minute questions, comments, anything, you guys? Hopefully today's topics covered everything that's been kind of going on. Is there anything else you'd like me to talk about? Anything at all? Before I close it out here, I will give till an hour and 30 minutes. So we got 23. Let's see, it's an hour 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We got about 7 minutes. And then I'll close out the show. Figure reviews coming up. Tamashii Nations, SH Figure Arts, Shadow Moon, Tamashii Nations, Kamen Rider Amazon Alpha. He's going to be coming up soon. Kamen Rider Zolda, his figure review is going to be coming out. So again, a lot of Kamen Rider stuff. But again, it's just what the market is for me right now. It's slow. It's oversaturated. There's not a lot going on, and not a lot that I'm into collecting right now. So again, I apologize for the lack of Godzilla and Kaiju content, but the Kamen Rider stuff, again, don't knock it till you try it. Kamen Rider has been a very fun ride. I've enjoyed Kamen Rider a lot more than Ultraman. So, and I watched Ultraman before I watched Kamen Rider, and there's something about Kamen Rider, it just has a special feel to it. I don't know. Ultraman I'm really picky with. I really only like Ultraman Tiga and then some other Ultraman media. But it's like Ultraman's one I couldn't really get into. But have I picked up any more vinyl records? I actually haven't. My wife actually got me a couple vinyl records for Christmas though, but they weren't kaiju related. She got me a Slipknot vinyl record, and then she got me a John Lennon vinyl record. So I did get some gifts for Christmas that were vinyl records, but as far as getting other vinyl records, I haven't. Mainly because Waxwork hasn't put out anything really. And then Mondo's another one. But see, I stopped shopping at Mondo for other reasons. I stopped shopping at Mondo because they just ended up kind of getting outrageous with their prices. Last time I bought records from Mondo, the shipping was insane. And it bumped up the prices enough to where it was just like, this isn't worth it anymore. Another issue with Mondo is, of course, scalpers and bots buying most of their products when they go up for pre-order or for sale, and you might be lucky if you could get something. That's another issue with Mondo that I've talked about in the past. So, man, a lot of these companies, man, just can't get it together. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I haven't bought any vinyl records in a minute. I'd like to, but again, it's just not in the cards right now, I want to say. And I kind of have all the vinyl records I want for Kaiju Media. I'm waiting for something really cool to drop. I'm actually waiting for, if anything, I'm waiting for Waxwork Records to repress Godzilla -1, which I believe they do have plans to do, because I missed the Godzilla -1 release from them. So I want to get Godzilla -1 on vinyl for sure. So that is something to get. Bobby Reynolds, maybe next Chill O'Clock will be a versus topic. War of the Monsters versus Dawn of the Monsters versus Gigabash. Yeah, we can talk about some video games next. Yeah, 100% we can talk about video games on the next one. That's totally fair. War of the Monsters, Dawn of the Monsters, and Gigabash are very different games ultimately. But we can do like a little versus comparison for them for sure. That's not a problem. Hopefully I can get another Kaiju Chill O'Clock going next week. Again, I never post when I'm going to do Kaiju Chill O'Clock. So again, Atomic Blast that notification bell. That way you get notified when I put videos up and when I go live. It helps out that way because I don't do the reminder posts anymore just because the Facebook and Instagram pages for Godzilla Fan Freaks, it was just becoming like those posts, and it's like I didn't want those outlets just to be Kaiju Chill O'Clock reminders or upcomings or stuff like that. So Kaiju Chill O'Clocks, I kind of always, not always expect them, but expect me to do them when I do have them on Saturdays. That is the most gracious time for me to try to pump out an episode. And hopefully Nick, if he watches this, I could use some more Kaiju Chill O'Clock thumbnails. Those help out a lot with getting them out. That way I have a thumbnail ready and everything like that. Again, shout out to him and over at the Monster Report for helping me with my thumbnails on my channel. Helps me out a lot. It's nice to have just a nice, catchy, eye-catching thumbnail versus what I can do on my end with my editing, which are really bad thumbnails. But I always appreciate you guys chiming in, watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you guys watch this stream later on, please throw a comment down in the comment section with a question or something you want to talk about. I always respond to comments. I appreciate all the comments I get. Kim, I saw your comment the other day on the Kamen Rider Black, and man, he's a great figure. You are correct about that. So anyway, you guys, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Destroy All Monsters just ended. We're going to call it episode 68 come to a close. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Facebook and Instagram. Rich from Wisconsin, have a great weekend, my friend. You as well. You guys all have a great weekend. Let's have a great new year, 2026 for everybody. Bless you all. You all are awesome. We are Godzilla Fan Freaks, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.